Let's get right into it, right off the bat, and bring in my co-host, Drew Martin, at DrewMartinBets.com. Drew, or at DrewMartinBets on Twitter, I should say. Great to have you, Drew. Welcome to the show.
Teddy, happy Monday to you. Happy Monday out there to the watchers. It was a great weekend of sports, and this is my last time on stepping in for Donnie Rightside, so excited to get into it. But we got hot topic of the day, Teddy. We got the game last night in the NBA. I'm going to throw it to you for most of this, but I will tell you something about the total. As the Raptors do win Game 3 and make a series out of this, Teddy, if you had the Bucks, a tough beat. But I'm telling you, if you had the under, an absolutely brutal beat. It does not get much worse than this. Talk about totals bettors betting the under, getting OT'd. How about double OT'd, Teddy? This was a tough one. My heart goes out to you if you had the under last night. That's about as bad as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, when you're having under in any NBA game, the number one goal, no overtime. And then the game goes to OT and you survive. You still have so much room with a total close at 221 in that range. 221 and a half. You got plenty of room. You survive overtime, but it goes to double OT. Overtime's where unders goes to die. Double OT is where all unders go to die. And of course, didn't go over till there was a minute left in the second overtime. That is absolutely brutal when you have a right side and a wrong result. And it's not just one OT, it's two OTs. And of course, both teams with ample opportunity to win that game straight up in regulation, both teams with chances to win it in overtime. I mean, the Bucks didn't play well, flat out. You know, Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, ice cold between them. They missed 26 of 32 shots. Giannis fouled out in the second OT. And in general, Milwaukee just didn't look like the same team we've seen in the first couple of ball games. We've seen that from the Bucks on a handful of occasions so far here in the postseason. Toronto wasn't really good enough to take advantage. They found a way to steal it in the second OT. But obviously, when we look at Game 4, the market's making a big move towards Milwaukee. The Bucks open as 2.5-point road chalk in Game 4. Remember, they were underdogs yesterday. Total for Game 4, 216. The market's adjusting down even after the bad beat for underbettors in Game 3.
Teddy, let's talk a little PGA Championship. Koepka goes wire to wire at Bethpage, and man, he was looking good. He, as far as runs go with golfers, this is up there all time. He's just really knocking it out in the majors. But wire to wire winner. He almost gave it up though there at the end. 6 shots from his 7-shot lead. Hangs on over Dustin Johnson, Teddy.
Yeah, and ends up with a 2-shot victory, although the lead was cut to 1 at Bethpage on Sunday. So much for that. Oh, there's no way to blow a 7-shot lead in the final of the PGA Championship. There was. But Koepka hang on, and he now has 4 wins in his last 8 majors. He was the clear favorite, went off at plus 1,100 in that range, even lower than that in some spots because of all the money that he took. And with the wire-to-wire win, easy cash. Relatively easy cash for Koepka backers, of course. And now he's 6-1 to win the next major, the U.S. Open. DJ, who finished second and gave him a battle down the stretch yesterday at 8-1. And Tiger, of course, he's in the mix. Sure, he didn't make the cut this week. He's still 10-1 to win the U.S. Open, third favorite after Koepka and DJ.
Teddy, May's supposed to be a down month in sports betting, but I'll tell you, we had the PGA Championship, full MLB slate, and NBA playoffs, and then we also had the Preakness, the middle leg of the Triple Crown. And I'll tell you, War of Will wins. And there was a horse out there. It was fun to watch. Without a jockey, loses the jockey, and he still hung tough, riding on the outside there. It was, I guess, I'm not the most horse forward guy, but I don't believe he could have won even if he crossed the finish line in first. But either way, it was an exciting Preakness. What did you see?
Well, first of all, I mean, this concept of May not being a great sports betting month. Look, there's at least 10 months a year that are really good sports betting months. You know, June gets lighter, July's as bad as it gets. Except for when the World Cup years or something. But, July's light, and June is just the finals in baseball as it takes center stage. But, gosh, the other 10 months of the year, there's plenty. And, frankly, we find plenty of stuff to talk about in June and July as well. When it comes to the Preakness, look, that what Boat Express did was insane. The jockey gets bounced off. He runs, and there was a point he looked like he was going to contend. And then, of course, he did another lap after that. That's something, and just when you think you have seen it all before as a sports bettor, you see something like this, you're like, nope, I never seen that before. I've been in Vegas since 98, and that's something I've never seen. And that's kind of the fun of what we do when the random stuff happens. You're like, wow, like Boat Express. And, of course, War of Will, chalk. He went off as 4-1 in that range. He was chalk for a reason. He get his Derby redemption. But Everfast, 29-1 dog finishes second, which means big exacta payouts, despite the fact that the chalk won the Preakness. There'll be no Triple Crown winner this year. We knew that already going in, but certainly a fun race if you were involved on Saturday. Hopefully, you cashed a winning ticket.